All right. Hello, YouTube, uh, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, social media, all you social media people. Um, Sorry I'm a little bit late showing up today. Um, of course, I get everything all prepped and ready to go, and then something's not working. So have to improvise a little bit. Um, I did not get it working, so today's live stream is going to be a little bit more flawed than normal, but hopefully there's still some information in here that is helpful. Let's see here. Sorry, still trying to get myself straight from the drama. um, I hope you all had a great week, of course, and as always, if you have anything that you want to ask or comment about or any of that, just drop it in the chat, and I will hopefully see it and address it. Or after the after the stream is over, if you want to say anything, just drop that in the comment section, and I'll respond to it there. So let's see here. Last week, I kind of changed what we were doing. We got our bass and we got our high melody, and then we had a couple backing melodies as well. And then towards the very end of last week's session, I had experimented with putting those in different instruments. Like the melody, I think I was like singing at the end of it, and there was a guitar in there, and there was a bass in there. So I guess I maybe skipped a step in terms of recording those. I realized that may be useful to see how those got recorded and to understand a little bit of the recording process. So I am going to switch to my screen share. There we go. Hopefully everybody can see that. No problem. And so basically what I did, I'm going to open this up. So how I set up the microphones to prep for the recording of the piano bass part is here what we're looking at. I'll make this a little bit larger so everybody can see that. Cool. Piano bass, as in these are the bass notes that I was playing on the piano. And as you can see, there are 3 files. Basically what I did was I took a stereo capture, meaning stereo meaning not mono, mono of course meaning 1, stereo meaning 2. I've got the right channel right here, which is expressed by this pan knob being all the way over to the right, and the left channel being all the way over to the left. And this is the little mixer section of my DAW. I am not in analog, I am in my digital audio workstation. So I've got the right channel, the left channel, and then I had a microphone set up in the middle of the piano. Come on, brain, turn back on. So basically, what I had was, they call them matched pairs, meaning that every microphone has its own specific unique frequency response, meaning that each microphone captures sound in its own unique way, and it makes one microphone sound different from the next microphone. And so to capture this stereo image, I used a matched pair of microphones. And that means that not only are they the same brand, make, and model, but they have also been rigorously tested to have this, I hesitate to say exact same, but extremely similar frequency response. Let's say that we were working with a very common microphone. I've got one in my hands right now, a Shure SM57. Very, very common microphone. Let's see here. Oh, great. Hello, welcome back, mouse. One of these guys right here. Shure SM57. I'm sure you've seen one of these. Pardon the pun. Very, very common microphone. So let's say that you've got two of these and you throw them up. They're going to have a very, very, very similar frequency response, meaning they're going to capture audio close to the same way because it's the same brand, same model of microphone. However, they're not going to be so scientifically precise unless you have a quote unquote matched pair. And that means that there's such little deviation that they sound to our ears the same. So you want to use matched pairs of microphones when you're recording in stereo. Otherwise, you will have issues. So I've got a matched pair of microphones that I used for our right channel and our left channel. And then this is it is another microphone that I used, and I set it kind of right smack dab in the middle of the piano. So I'm definitely a fan of having options when you record. So the fact that I've got these basically two different takes that I can, or not two different takes, excuse me, two different sources, because basically these two count as one source because it's the left channel and the right channel. And then this is both. So having these two sources gives you more flexibility when it comes time to treat the audio. Let's see here. The thing that I couldn't get working was I couldn't figure out how to play from my DAW through the streaming service. I don't know what happened. I was able to do it last week, no problem. So imagine my surprise when 5 to 2 I turned it on and it's not working. So that is to say, I'm going to play the audio now, but it is going to be coming through the same mic that is capturing my my speaking voice right now. So it's not going to be very good. It's not ideal, but it's what we're working with right now. So I hope you'll understand and be patient. So long story long, here's what the piano bass sounded like with these captures. And so I've obviously treated the sound here. More on that later. More on the sound treatment later. But even before we get to how we're going to balance our two options here, this stereo pair and then this, I wanted to talk about just recording with a microphone. So as you can see here, these are little graphical, or not graphical, these are little visual representations of the sound, right? Obviously when it's bigger, it's louder. So when I was just starting to record, something that I made the mistake of doing all the time was not setting the recording level correctly. And this is important because you want to give a healthy signal so that you can have the highest fidelity as possible. And to do that, what we want to aim for in our recording process or in our recording technique is to have the average signal be about -18. All right. Now I've got my monitoring system set up to where this is the peak, which means at its absolute loudest, it is -11 in the right channel, and in the left channel, it is -15. At its absolute loudest, we call that peak. The average that I was talking about earlier, average shooting to -18 to -20, we call that RMS. That is short for root mean squared. And it's basically just, like I said, it just means average. So the average level of signal that we want to be receiving is between -18 and -20. I think the increment that we measure it in is a dBFS, which stands for like decibel full scale, I think. But that's not crazy important to us right now. I think pretty much all DAWs are synced to have a similar calibration. So when we aim for this -18 to -20 average volume, we're going to get peaks that are above that, and that's totally fine. I actually recorded this capture a little bit on the quiet side. I expected these peaks to be closer to, say, -6, -6, -9. And like I said, there is some processing later in the track. I guess I can just take that off right now. So for example, this is -11, this is -15, this is -14.5. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but these 3 tracks right here are all feeding into this other big track. I've got them quote unquote bussed to this. And a bus is basically, it's just like it is in everyday life. It moves objects, in our case people, or in the audio world, it moves sound. It moves the signal from one spot to another. So instead of having this output be to the stereo output, which is basically, some people say your 2 bus, your mix bus. Logic calls it a stereo output. Basically, it's just the absolute last thing, the absolute last stop before the sound is exported. Instead of exporting it to the stereo output, I am choosing to bus it, and I'm using bus number 1, which has been set up already, to the piano bass. I hope this makes sense. If it doesn't, please let me know. But yeah, and it's just, instead of going to the output, I'm going to a bus. And then so what's happening then on this other channel is that my input now becomes the bus, and my output I can change to stereo bus. So I hope this makes sense. These were my microphone inputs up here. These are my outputs from the channel down here. And these are all busing to this input, which then processes and goes to the stereo out. I hope that makes sense. It definitely can take a little, it took me a second to figure out how the heck buses work. but now it's second nature. So it's one of those things that once you get it, you'll get it, and you don't need to think about it anymore. So let's see here. So basically, the takeaway from today is give your recording capture a healthy signal. And by healthy signal, I mean you want to be aiming for negative, probably 6 to 9 down here, because that's the peak, and then which will turn into hopefully about negative 18, negative 20 on the average. What I did just right now is I Logic and all DAWs, I imagine, have something where you can measure this. Yes, peak and RMS. RMS, remember, is just average. So if we want to check out how we're doing, like I said, I recorded this unhealthily. I already broke my own rules. But you can see here's the peak and here's the RMS, or average. So this signal could be healthier. It's not horrible, but it's not great. And like I said, you want that volume up higher so that the microphone can do its job better and capture a higher fidelity source. So look around in your DAW. Where's this? Yeah, in Logic, it's metering, level meter, and then you can set it however you want to. You want the peak, you want the average, you want peak and average, true peak, and true average. I set mine to peak and average, and that will help you when you're calibrating your recording level. Let's see here. Then I think that's about all I have to say for right now. Sorry again for the scatterbrainedness of the stream. I hope to get everything figured out and be able to work with the DAW audio for next week, and then we can talk a little bit more about the processing that I applied to our audio signals. The last thing actually that occurred to me is maybe you don't know how to adjust your signal. So I used to have an Apogee interface, and oh, what the heck? And jeez, you're gonna do this to me now? Okay, so I used to have an Apogee interface, and I could control the signal, the volume of the signal, both on the hardware, the actual interface itself, and then also within Logic. And by Logic, and doing it with the software Logic, it was all in this section. This 48 stands for phantom power. Excuse me. This is a high pass filter. This is a phase inverse. I no longer use the Apogee though, so that's why I don't have this within my settings. I got myself a different interface, and it has some drivers here. So it's just like a little knob. It's just a little digital knob, tells you how much you are raising or lowering your signal. And you can also do it on the hardware unit that I've got here. Whoop, let me get this pulled up. Right, so I'm using the hardware now to adjust my signal. And if you've got a interface and a DAW, you are probably going to be familiar with this, but just in case you're not, that's what's going on. Anything else I want to say? Seems like a funny time to plug myself for lessons, but if you have any, if you have any issues and you wanted some one-on-one attendance, I can definitely do that. Just drop me a link in the chat, and I'll reach out to you. We'll talk, 15 minutes, see about what you are interested in, how I can help you with that, and let's get you on your way to making music, be it writing music, recording music, performing music. Let me know what you're interested in, and I would love to help you out with that. It's a totally money back, no risk offer. If you're not happy with the service, I'll give you your money back, no problem. But that's why we've got the little 15-minute consultation, I guess. See what you want to do, see what I can offer for you. So no reason not to reach out, right? I don't know. I think that's all I got to say. Tune in next week, 2 p.m. Eastern time, and I will talk about treating the audio that we have captured. And I hope you all have a great week. Thank you again for your patience in terms of the issues I was having with the software today. All right, I'll see you all later. Have a great day.